If you're supporting families who say bedtime takes forever, they fight sleep every single night, they're exhausted, so why won't they just go to sleep? And you don't want to fall back on rigid routines or cry it out advice, then this video matters, because bedtime resistance isn't a discipline issue, it isn't a bad habit, and it isn't fixed by pushing bedtime earlier either. In the next few minutes, I'm going to help you understand what's actually happening in a baby or child's nervous system at bedtime, why connection intensifies at the end of the day, why some children simply aren't biologically ready at the time adults expect, and how to reframe bedtime in a way that protects attachment while still moving families forward. If you want to support families in a way that feels intelligent, regulated, and aligned with responsive care, then stay with me. I'm Lindsay, co-founder of the Holistic Sleep Coaching Program, where we train professionals around the world to support families with evidence, empathy, and deep respect for attachment. And bedtime? It's one of the most emotionally loaded parts of the day. Let's unpack why. But first, let me introduce you to Andrea. Andrea came to us as a mum of two, no healthcare background, no early years training, just exhausted, confused, frustrated with the advice she'd been given. Bedtime in her house was tense, long, emotional. She was told she needed firmer boundaries, earlier nights, less giving in, but it didn't sit right. Inside the Holistic Sleep Coaching Program, she began to understand attachment theory, nervous system regulation, biological sleep development, the role of connection, the importance of realistic expectations. She stopped trying to win bedtime. She started working with it. Bedtime became calmer, more predictable, less combative, and then something unexpected happened. She realised other families were desperate for this perspective. Today, Andrea runs a thriving sleep coaching business, helping exhausted families find rest without cried-out methods, without rigid frameworks, and without compromising connection. Her transformation didn't start with a script, it started with understanding. So when we strip it back, bedtime is a separation, and separation activates attachment. From around 6 to 9 months and right through toddlerhood and beyond, children develop a really healthy awareness. My caregiver can leave. That awareness is a developmental milestone, but it means that every bedtime contains a micro goodbye. If a child's had a busy day, if they're feeling unsure, if developmentally navigating independence, they may try to prolong that connection, not because they're being manipulative, but because proximity equals safety. As professionals, this reframes the behaviour immediately. Instead of asking, how do we stop the delay? We ask, what need is showing up right now? Now, you can't sleep with your foot on the gas. This is something I say a lot and I want to explain it. Sleep is not just about being tired. Sleep requires a shift from nervous system activation into safety and rest. When a child is alert, stimulated, uncertain, or emotionally charged, their sympathetic nervous system is activated. This is the foot on the gas. Heart rate slightly elevated, cortisol circulating, muscles tense, brain scanning for connection and safety. Now imagine asking that system to suddenly power down. You can't sleep with your foot on the gas. If the body doesn't feel safe enough, calm enough, or connected enough to shift into the rest and relax state, sleep's not happening. Activation at bedtime doesn't always look distressed. Sometimes it looks like hyperenergy, chatting, getting out of bed repeatedly, sudden bursts of silliness, escalating requests. That's not defiance, that's a nervous system that hasn't fully shifted gears. Our job isn't override that, it's to support the shift. Now, something else happens in the evening. Children reconnect. If a parent has been working, if the day has involved childcare, if attention has been divided, the evening becomes a time to fill their cup. As we teach in our attachment module, children attach through proximity, responsiveness, attunement, and touch. So when bedtime lingers on, it's often not about sleep at all. It's about, before I let go, I need to know we're okay. Sometimes 15 minutes of completely undistracted connection before the wind down begins can transform the tone of bedtime. Now, this is where we have to tread carefully as professionals. Not every child who resists bedtime is dysregulated. Some simply aren't biologically ready at the adult preferred time. We are not big fans of rigid, very early prescriptive bedtimes in our community. Many families find that a realistic bedtime, often somewhere around 8 to 8:30 for older babies and children, aligns better with actual natural sleep pressure and family rhythms. If a child hasn't had enough physical movement, had free play, used their body, discharged energy, then asking them to lie still in the dark can feel unnatural. For babies, that means floor time, rolling, crawling, reaching, exploring. For toddlers and older children, outdoor play, climbing, running, jumping, age-appropriate exercise, and silly time. Many parents are frightened of silly time because they think it will hype their child up. In reality, children are often already wound up by the end of the day. What looks like sudden chaos at bedtime is frequently unexpressed tension. Silly time is a deliberate, contained opportunity to release that tension through movement and laughter. That doesn't mean bouncing on a trampoline and then expecting them to fall straight into bed. It means creating a clear window, maybe before dinner or well before the bedtime routine begins, where children can wrestle, chase, be loud, laugh, get the wiggles out. After that, we build in a distinct and predictable calm down phase. Lights dim, voices slow, breathing deepens, pace changes, movement first, regulation second, bedtime third. If we skip the movement before bedtime, you may see movement at bedtime instead. So to wrap up, bedtime is hard because separation activates attachment patterns, nervous systems need help shifting gears, connection peaks in the evening, some children need more movement before stillness, and sometimes adult expectations don't match biology. When we understand that, we stop fighting bedtime and start supporting it. If you're watching this because you're curious about becoming a sleep coach and you know there has to be a better way than rigid routines and behavioural overrides, that's exactly what we teach inside the Holistic Sleep Coaching Program. Evidence, attachment, biology, and business support. Just like Andrea, you don't need a clinical background, you need curiosity, compassion, and the willingness to look deeper. Click the link below to book a free call with our team. And if this resonated with you, make sure you watch our next video on why babies wake when put down, because it connects beautifully with everything we've talked about today.